and I'm excited to be talking to you today. So let's talk about our ROI metrics and what they are. So ROI metrics enables customer success teams to create and define key metrics that track ROI of their customers with their products. Growth from customer renewals and upsells is becoming increasingly tied to delivering on business results. And customers that are achieving the business results that they expect with a product are more likely to renew their subscriptions with you. And when it comes to measuring customer success, metrics on ROI and business results ultimately matter the most. Yet, most CS teams don't have access to these insights. If CS teams are producing ROI metrics about their customers, it's an extremely time-consuming and complicated process. And many don't even know that they can have this information. Now, Totango's ROI metrics eliminates this problem because now customer success teams can see which customers are on track with regards to business outcomes, making them more successful. Okay, so here's your solution and ways to impact and improve ROI. So there's 3 ways that customer success teams can create and define key metrics. One is increased revenue. Is the product paying for itself? Improved productivity. Is your product allowing customers to do more with less? And then higher quality. Are your customers doing a better job with your product? So how does it work? We're going to create and define custom formulas that are applicable to your business. And here are 2 examples for you. And actually, we're going to go through one of these in our session today in our demo. So revenue formula. Here it's payments process defined by a contract value, or is it about quality for you? In this case, using a recruiting software. Is it candidates interviewed divided by applicants, so you can see that you're getting a better quality of candidate pipeline? So instead of taking things out, putting them in a list, exporting it to a CSV and calculating it manually, now Totango is going to serve that up to you. So what am I going to do with them? I'm going to have an ROI-driven health score. So now you can create your own ROI metrics and put them into your health score so you can have a better understanding of good and poor health. Have better executive and customer reporting, so tracking those business outcomes, also something you can incorporate into your quarterly business reviews. And then creating smart engagement campaigns, so letting your marketing teams leverage this as well. So driving improvements and outcomes across customers using automated nurture campaigns. And this is a sample of one of the things we're going to do today is building a report so you can actually see what productivity looks like amongst your customers. I'm going to go ahead and move into Totango, so bear with me a moment while I change screens. Okay, so now we're in Totango, and just as a side note for you, only admins are able to actually build the metrics themselves, but everyone on the team is able to access them. So once they're built, you can see them throughout the product and the team can leverage them, but the admins need to build them. All right, so how do I find this? Over on my left navigation, I'm going to go over into settings. I'm going to scroll down a little bit and you'll see metrics with the little premium bug there next to it. And now you can see all the metrics that we've created. To build a new one, just click on the blue add metric on the side there and you'll be able to create a brand new one. For my first example today, I'm going to pretend I'm a help desk software company. Okay, so as a customer success manager for a help desk company, I need to make sure that my help desk software is helping my customers to be more productive. So a key indicator of productivity in our software is number of tickets closed per agent. And since I'm able to track specific activities in Totango, such as number of tickets closed, I know the number of active agents. I can combine those metrics to create my ROI metrics that shows me how customers are being, how productive they're being. So let's go ahead and build that out. I do have it built out already, but I'm going to go ahead and just show you how to build a new one. So I'm going to click that add metrics, and here you can now see where I can just drag and drop or click to create my formula. So in this case, for agent productivity, I'm going to create an attribute for number of tickets. So down here, I'm just going to click on attribute, or I could just drag it in, and then I'm going to select my attribute, which is number tickets. Just type that in and select it. And then I want to divide it, so I'm going to go ahead and click on my divide there. And then it's number of active users, which is right here under usage for me. And easy, I've got my formula. So very easy to create. You just need to know what metrics you're looking to build. And then I can decide how I need that displayed. Am I looking for percentages, decimals, currency? And then at the bottom, I could go ahead and click Save here. Being that I've built this before, I don't need to save it. Don't forget to make sure you name it, and make sure you're naming it and using a naming convention that your entire team will understand what's behind that formula, since your CS team isn't the one building it. Okay. And just a side note, this does calculate automatically, or immediately. You don't need to wait 24 hours to see the results and to be able to use it. One of the places I mentioned earlier you can use your ROI metrics is in your health score. So now that it's created, I can go into my health score and say agent productivity is at least 10, or depending on what it is that's most important to me for good or for poor health. Okay. So now I want to track my customers that have good productivity. So maybe it's more than 25 tickets closed per agent, and I want to know who's declining. So maybe productivity is decreasing by 30% in 2 weeks. So I can see where I need to really focus my time. And I can quickly create a report that compares the two over time so that I can see which customers are doing well, which need more attention. So I'm going to go ahead and I can click on Reports over on the left navigation bar. It's going to take me to the reports. And see, I've got it created right here for you. ROI metrics for my help desk productivity. Get that loaded for you. There we go. The internet hamsters are a little slow for me this morning. But once I get to this report, I can actually add in other cuts of data. So once that loads, I can see, there we go. I can see my productivity high, how many are in low, and as I go down, I can also add additional breakdowns. I can see what their health scores are, maybe want to look at that by contract value, so I can do some prioritization, and then I might also want to look at that by success manager. You can see Cecilia and I have a lot of green. I might need to focus on some reds. I've got 3 there, and I've got 3, so we can kind of focus in on those customers, right? And that way, Omer knows, hey, Cecilia, who are those 3 that we need to focus on with you? Then you can make your game plans. And then that way it'll break down by which of those 3, what's their contract value. So just some ways to filter down on the information to make it more valuable to you. Okay. Hey, Cecilia, I just want to check in real quick and see if we have any questions coming into the chat panel.
Not yet, but if you guys have anything that you'd like Robin to address on this webinar, feel free to text those in and we'll take them as we go along.
Great. Perfect. All right. So let's look at another use case. I'm going to go ahead and go back into my metrics. And another one we can do is revenue ROI. So in this case, we're going to change our use case up a little bit. Now I'm going to be a ticket payment processing software like a StubHub or a Ticketfly. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to show you one that's already built out so you can see what that looks like. So here we've got our revenue ROI. And you can see that we've kind of built a little bit more complex formula here for you. So in this case, it's dollars times a specific amount, dividing that over the year, and then dividing that by another attribute. So a much more complex formula here. So for all you mathematicians, I hope you're loving this. So now that I've built out the ROI functionality, we're going to use this again. We can track health with this, but it's also as a key driver of determining which customers are good candidates for upsell, so very high ROI, as well as those who may be at risk of churn, so those who are getting a below 100% ROI. So we can take proactive action to help them improve on this key metric. So to accomplish this, we created 2 lists that help upsell candidates and churn risk customers. So if I go into my active list by clicking on accounts on the left navigation, I've created a folder for my custom metrics so I can actually really focus in on those. It's also going to help my marketing team because they might be doing some marketing campaigns to help us with this upsell and reaching out to our risk customers. So one is my upsell candidates. So down here, I have my upsell candidates. And very quickly, just really easy building out that list by adding that into the active filters. So I'll show you how to do that. All right, so up here at the top, I could quickly just start by adding a new account list, but instead I'm going to just show you one that we've already built out. So I hit my Edit Active Filters, and down over on the left-hand side, if I go under More, you can see a new section here for custom metrics. And all the custom metrics that we've built are all here for you to use. And this will be like this when you're building a report or when you're building out your health scores. So very quickly, I could just click on that revenue ROI. It's going to show up at the top. And here we've already built it out so to show me those that are at least 200%. And then again, you can change it to say is less than 100%. And again, we're only looking at status type of paying. Okay. And then we'll have all of those candidates. We can see they're all in good health. And we can see change over time. So here we can see our status type. There's that revenue ROI at the end. So we can see very quickly we've got some accounts there that we really should be targeting for those upsells. And we need to get marketing involved and get our sales relationship managers involved as well. And then again, you can turn that around for churn risk and then go ahead and prioritize from there. Don't forget to save it so you can access it. You've built this out for all, which is what we've done here. You can very quickly use that toggle for the all in my, and then I can actually just see which of my accounts are showing up here. So if you've built this for your CSM team, a CSM can come in and just focus in on which are theirs that they need to focus on here. Okay, great. So what did we learn today? We learned to go ahead and go into the metrics section, build out those custom metrics or ROI metrics ahead of time. We can now leverage those in building out our health scores. We can get a better feel of who's really in good health and who's in poor health based on those metrics. We can create reporting based on it so we can see how our customers are using. Great thing to use in our QBRs. And then we can create some active lists to help us with prioritization and to also help engage our marketing teams and getting those marketing campaigns out to those that might be at risk or to help upsell those that are doing really well. All right, I'm going to go ahead and reach back out to Cecilia here and see what questions, if any, have come in, or have I been a great math teacher today?
Thank you, Robin. That was an amazing walkthrough. So we do have some questions coming in. So we can start with the one that's right in front. So the question is, are there any attribute format limitations? So does the attribute that you send, does it need to be a number in order to be used in the ROI metrics?
Yes, great question. So yes, it does need to be a number when you're building out a metric. We can't divide words. We can only divide numbers or multiply numbers, right? Also, we do not calculate date at this time. So it must just be a solid number.
Great, thank you, Robin. So here's another question. How could I set up a metric that monitors likelihood of users converting from trialers to paid subscribers?
Say that again, trialers?
So if a customer has trial customers that are in free trial, is there a way, or how would you set up a metric that will monitor the likelihood for them to convert to a paid customer? So it sounds like we might want to understand what is the path that the customer takes when they convert, and what are the typical trends for your free trial customers, and what do they typically do in trial? And then from there, maybe use the specific actions that they perform and come up with some sort of metric from there. But this is something we can probably address directly with you and, regroup with you directly to understand specifically how to achieve this. All right. Next question. How did you edit a metric which was already built?
So you can't edit a metric that's already built because it's already been calculated and used somewhere else. So you can't edit a formula. You can just create a new one, or you can delete one. So I do have one in here already for agent productivity. It's right here. We've already built it out. But in order to show you how to build one out, I just went in and just did an add and then built it from new. So I can actually come in here and say, show me number of active users divided by license utilization. I probably would flip that around so that you could see that over time. but it's just a click and drag and drop. You can't edit something that's there. You can change the numeric value. So if I go back in to the menu of all of them, I can change it from a decimal. I can say just show it to me as a percent or show it to me as a number. That's the only thing that you'd be able to edit. And then over here you can see a couple, just a little things to pay attention to. I have a little suitcase there. That's going to show me where the metric is being used. So before I delete a metric that I think is incorrect, you want to go in and see where do I have this so I can delete it or know where I need to go update a list or a report with the new metric. And then I have the little trash can so I can delete something.
Great, thank you, Robin. So another question, is there a limitation as to how many metrics you can define within the interface?
Right now, you can have 20 metrics built at any one time. And we're finding that that's more than enough for you. I don't think you'll run out, but if you feel like you're nearing that 20 and you're going to need more, especially if more teams are using Totango, then just reach out to your CSM and we'll see what we can do to help you.
Great, thanks, Robin. So unless there are any other questions, I think that wraps up our overview of the ROI metrics. Thank you, everybody, for attending, and we look forward to seeing you at our next webinar. Thank you.
We'll stay on for another minute as questions may continue to come in. But thank you all so much for your time and attention today. It was great chatting with you all.